Evening at the Movies is a proud member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. Other shows in the network include Mass Debaters, The Sip List, Crushgasm, Love is Black, Men Are the Prize, Crime Rewind, and Literature Reapers. You can find out all about our shows and more at idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com. Happy listening. You are now entering the world of a movie review. A world full of drama, joy, ridicule, movie spoilers, unpopular opinions, and adult humor for as far as the eye can see. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies.
Hello, happy Sunday. Welcome back to everybody's favorite movie-based podcast. This is An Evening at the Movies. I am Ho number one, and this is the podcast where we eat the stale popcorn, we drink the watered-down sodas, and we talk about all of our favorite movies, and of course, why we love them. And joining me on this amazing episode of An Evening at the Movies, we have Ho 2 and Ho number 3 with us. Um, Say hello, Ho number 2. Why don't you two pick which one wants to be 2 and
I don't know who the
three.
fuck you think you're calling a hoe right now.
I was going to say, I remain quiet on the basis of seniority, so I was just kind of like, that ain't on me.
What do you mean seniority?
What do you mean? You've been around on the show longer than I have, so I mean...
That means I have seniority.
That was exactly why I didn't fucking take the claim as Ho number 2. So, in turn, as I originally said, I remained silent on the basis of seniority.
All right, you made it sound like you were the one possessing the seniority, not giving way to the seniority. So
that doesn't. Okay.
Whatever. I'm here. We're popping the cheap screw top rosé, although this is not screw top, hence the pop. But I am Amanda. I am here. This is a good distraction for me waiting to stay up all night before surgery tomorrow. It is the last night of the Eras tour for anybody who's interested. And so it's a sad, emotional, not sad, but just bittersweet day. So I am wearing my Eras tour shirt that I bought in Toronto. I am wearing my Tortured Poets Department cardigan, and I am drinking cheap rosé out of my mirror ball cup. So I am tailored out and ready to go.
You know, the fact that she's in Vancouver and not in, I don't know, LA or Kansas City, whichever place they're at right now, better not freaking jinx my damn quarterback. Just saying.
It doesn't work that way.
So like, hold on, I got a question to clarify something though, real quick.
Okay.
Like, is that like an official department of, torture, whatever, the torture poet department? Is that like the official cardigan? Like you went on a website or like
Yes.
officially ordered said cardigan?
Yes.
Oh.
It is right here, the Tortured Poets Department. So on her website, she releases a cardigan for she has done it for most of her albums.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the Midnight's cardigan, the Folklore cardigan, and the Tortured Poets Department cardigan. They're not cheap, but
I would imagine not.
I'm sure George's bank account has proof of that.
It's my bank account too, and I spent my money on these. Thank you very much.
Anyway,
I was more so curious as to if it was like a legit official type thing, or if this is just like, if it was like a
you're just calling
addition.
You mean the cardigan or the Tortured Poets Department itself?
Well, no, I'm aware of the album name,
Okay.
but like I was just more so when you said my official this and then that, and then I was like, wait, really? Like
Cardigans
actual
are a legit thing, yes.
Well, I know cardigans are a legit thing. Yeah. We're on the same page now. I'm still in disbelief personally. I'm just like, what in the semi-little actual fuck? Okay.
Uh,
want you to know I'm a
af-
mirror ball. Okay, sorry.
after all of that, we also have Mr. Chancy Greif with us again this week. Welcome back, sir.
What's up, floating eyeball of chaos? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
What do you mean again this week? He's a co-host now. He should be here every
Well,
week.
I,
Especially when we do the notebook. No. I gave you a pass on the notebook.
Did you? Holy shit! I didn't even realize that. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
I
fair
did. I
enough.
did give you a
no,
pass on the
no,
notebook.
no. You can give him a pass all he wants. I revoked the pass, and he will be here on January 1st for the Notebook.
Okay, well, I gave him a pass, and I'm cooler than you, but he doesn't get a pass for the Eras Torn movie, which we've already discussed.
I mean, I am willing to exchange my notebook pass for an Eras tour pass. I mean, I'm cool
No,
with that too.
no,
Oh, is that not okay?
no.
Okay, well,
You're
fair enough.
watching the Eras Torn movie. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, well,
All right.
it's Kasey's
I,
show. I'm just the color
I,
commentator. I'm just here to look pretty. So if he says you have to
I'm
be
not
here,
gonna
you
lie.
have to be here.
I would love to be a fly on the wall when Chancy has to sit down and actually watch the Eras Tour movie
I
and
wish him and Dre had to
see.
do it together.
I'm more curious to see fucking girl Casey's review or thoughts when she realizes what the fuck are you doing? Because
Well, I don't see that. I don't see much of that really, because she'd probably literally just be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then I would be like, "This," and then she would be like, "Why?" And I would be like, "That," and then she would be like, "Oh, okay," and then go back, commence to doing whatever it was she was doing, because like it'd be one of those things that she would know inherently I'm doing this because I have to in some capacity.
So we
yeah,
can't turn girl Casey into a Swiftie. Is that what you're saying?
Uh, I mean, anything technically is possible. Or as that meme would say from It's Always Sunny, through God, anything is possible. So just remember that, I guess. But I don't know. I would say I would put my money in probably not, but you never know. Things can happen.
Okay, Kasey is a low-key Swiftie because of me and Shanna. My friend Megan, who I never in a million years would have thought would have crossed over, I've made her a Swiftie, so it can happen. But anyway, it's not what we're here to talk about. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get all my Taylor in because the Eras Tour last show is tonight, and I'm just really like, I'm sad that it's going to be over. No more grainy live streams on YouTube to watch. Like, I'm just bummed.
well, I'm sure
I
there'll be
mean,
hundreds of millions of TikToks.
Yeah. Well, I have my own videos, but which I will. I plan to put mine together as a little movie and just watch it whenever I feel sad.
Taylor videos? You mean like this one?
No, don't.
oh God, that would have been
Yeah.
great. Oh
You
my
can
God,
do
that would have
it.
been
It's fine.
fucking no. That right there and is just that right there is enough. That is absolutely enough.
I,
The reaction on
I'm
its face is enough. Now they have to go
I,
back to watch the other one to get it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That would have worked so much better if I hadn't said anything and I had honestly just reached down and scrolled up like a quarter of an inch and then just hit the damn button.
If y'all haven't seen my birthday episode, Kasey inserted
Oh,
a video of me throwing a tantrum the night before my Eras Tour show. It was great.
I thought it was
it,
an epileptic episode, to be honest, for a minute. I didn't know what the fuck happened.
I mean, I
well,
was kicking my arms and legs like a toddler. So
and I'm not gonna lie. Freaking 200 people have seen that episode.
Yeah, that's true.
I just hope they enjoyed all the chunky thigh and ass shots they got, because that was what was more appalling to me. Was like, oh, please hide my ass, hide my thighs. I don't care about the tantrum, but damn.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when I hit play. I was just more concerned about
Oh,
the whole
if I
embarrassing
was
you with
worried about it, I
throwing
wouldn't
a
have put it on
tantrum.
the internet. It's fine. But speaking of that, we do have a comment
Oh,
from
we
one
do.
of my newest Swifty friends, Sarah, and I let her know that I podcast, and she said she would watch. She is like me; we're both twiddling our thumbs until the show starts at Taylor comes on at like 9:50 my time or something like that. I don't know how I'm gonna stay awake. I gotta get the old cataracts out tomorrow.
So you got like 2.5 hours. I don't think we're gonna go no 2.5 hours tonight.
No, please, no. But
Please, for the love of God, no. She's like, no, please, God, no.
Well, I mean, at the end of, if we were to discuss the not one but two freaking remakes on top of the original movie as
There's
well,
2
I'm sure.
remakes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Dimension made a version in 2006,
That's
and
the only one I know of.
Blumhouse did it in 2019.
That is right, and I haven't seen that one. Ooh.
See, the 2019 one's the one that I saw, which is interesting.
Well,
That's an interesting perspective.
according to my statistics, it's the better of the two remakes, but we'll get to that here in just a minute.
Oh yeah, I would say that'd probably
if I remember.
that would probably make sense. Yeah, that would probably make sense.
So, for those of you who don't know, this is smack dab in the middle of holiday ho 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 fest. So, we're going to be talking Christmas movies all month long, with an evening at the movie twist. We're not just going to go to your cookie cutter traditional Christmas movies. We're going to go dark. We're going to go evil, and we're going to get some great freaking
We managed
Christmas
to
horror.
ho it out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'll freaking hold myself out for some horror movies.
There's some horrors in this house. There's some horrors in this house.
So,
Also, if I have to be a hoe, I want to be hoe number 1. Since she ain't your hoe no mo. Sorry, I was quoting The Office. Bros before hoes. But then your hoe goes and breaks up with you, and then she ain't your hoe no mo.
So last week we discussed Better Watch Out, and it was somebody's birthday. So
Right.
we literally were here just days ago, going live on the Queenie's birthday, who evidently has drag racing going on outside her house again.
Sorry, I tried to mute it.
It's
not really drag racing. It's just we have a handful of people in the neighborhood with really loud ass fucking cars. Like a couple of people with trucks, one with a sports car, and I think there's somebody with a motorcycle. And they just always right out here in this little strip.
So basically, they know when you go live on
apparently
an evening at the movies, and they're like, "Ooh, let's fuck with Amanda."
We did go visit the lot at the new house today, and I just keep thinking how this time next year we will be in the woods and quiet, except for wildlife
and
oh,
world champion
And all the
cowboys
and all the openers to all the scary movies that we've watched involving that exact same scenario. Like, yeah.
Texas Chainsaw be happening in my backyard.
Yep.
Okay,
I wasn't saying that out loud.
Oh yeah, you guys aren't allowed to speak any shit into existence. I forgot about that.
Look what your brother did to the door.
I swear to God, if within the first month of them moving into that house, if something happens to the door,
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I am not telling you where I live.
Okay. Well, no, I meant like I'm saying it, like not going to actually mess with.
I you were doing it. Like you were gonna.
I am not gonna go all the way to Texas just to like show up in the dead of fucking night, unannounced, fuck with your door, leave, not say hi, never making never like pleasure to have finally made your acquaintance in real life. None of that. No. I'm gonna drive the fucking like 30 some odd hours round trip.
Definitely not in Texas. Everybody here's
yeah, no shit.
not me, but
I
I mean,
know.
yes, I
Uh,
am.
I mean,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. Even so, the closest neighbor that happens to see me go by, and that's weird. Better go make sure my new neighbors are okay. I get shot.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they
Oh,
have
for
guns in
sure.
Texas.
In Texas, it is safe to assume that everyone is carrying, which that's the assumption I make anyway.
Yes.
Everyone's armed. It's Wild West out here.
Which, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, whatever. We're not going to get into the Second Amendment right now. We had a movie to talk about.
Whoa, dude, fuck!
that is
We're
true.
16 minutes into the episode, and I haven't even said what the hell movie we watched for this episode.
That's fair.
So,
That is
we
valid.
got some good stuff coming up in the next what 2 weeks for the rest of Holiday Ho 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 Fest. But tonight we're going back into the genre of the horror, and we're kicking Amanda off the show.
As I say, and apparently Amanda was like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
They will need to connect their mic cam before you can add them to the stream. Hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll prolong the gratification for as long as we can before we announce the movie that we're discussing,
Indeed.
because it is technically Chancy's choice. And oh, look,
That is true.
the camera was all shaking like it was a fucking Blair Witch project.
Sorry. Having issues. Can
Hi.
you can you guys chat? Can you guys chat for like 2 minutes without me?
I thought that's what we were doing.
Okay, cool.
Right. Bye.
No. Cool.
Oh, fuck.
I thought we were going for 2 minutes without Amanda.
Well, I think she's intending it to be like us talking for.
Hey, how'd you do that?
Uh,
Sorry.
I was like, I don't know if she's talking to us or not.
Our camera's Blair Witching out, people. Hi, Jeej.
George said hello.
Hello, and
Sorry.
thank you for the assistance, kind Sasquatch.
Love you. Bye. Pearl.
Alcohol. He'll be back with more alcohol.
No, I have
That bottle will be gone before we get through the 90-second beat the clock challenge. Are we ready for me to say what movie we're talking about?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Well, bum bum bum. We're talking about the OG 1974 Black Christmas,
Woo woo.
chosen specifically for our amazing audience by everybody's favorite hoe number 3, because Amanda's hoe number 1, and I'll take the title of being the hoe that is the shit and being number 2. But Mr. Chancy Greif selected the movie for us all.
Yes, yes, I did. Because fucking, I don't know if anybody picked up on it from the last episode, but I am not a fan of fucking Christmas personally. So
Well, that's
when
unfortunate for you.
I found out we were doing, a horror film for Amanda's show and the start of like, the whole December Christmas thing, I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this one. Because this one, actually, honestly, I always felt that it was definitely like way ahead of its like time, way ahead of the game. Like so many things about it that could have like I'll digress, but like like I would like to. There's one thing I would like to say though is that like there was good stuff about like some of the cinematography in this film to a certain extent, but I really think that if you know the movie from the last show had cinematography more like the movie that we're talking about tonight, it probably would have had a better response rather than being like high production, low
Well, yeah,
expectation.
it's
This
1974 versus 2016 or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was like 2016, 2017, yeah. But still though, I mean like if this would have been made with the best cameras possible, I would have been like, wait, what the fuck is this?
You
I
should
was
have had a
still
steady cam like John Carpenter had.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't even think they had it at that.
No,
I think it was
I
like,
don't think
yeah,
so.
I think that came out in between. I think it came out in between then and Halloween,
Yeah.
the advent of, I should say. But no, I definitely, yeah, I for sure dug it. I was like, it deserves much more flowers than it gets, as
Yeah,
fucked
I
up as
have
it
to
is.
say, if NC-17 had existed then, this would have gotten an NC-17. I don't know
Oh
how this
fuck
didn't get it.
yeah!
I don't know. They're throwing around pussy and see you next Tuesday like it's nothing. And I'm like, this is 1974. What are we doing?
Yeah, and there's a very prevalent heated discussion between a protagonist and her. Um,
Lava?
well, yeah, I was actually going to give him a different name, but then I'm like, well, that kind of sort of spoils the whole plot twist of the movie. But we'll get to that, I'm sure, at some point here shortly. But before we can get to that, if you do not know, Black Christmas released on uh, December 20th, 1974. I'm like,
Oh, nice.
what the hell month
Nice.
is December? Um,
That should have been a Christmas
I'm
Day
like
release. That would
brain
have been
farting
great.
all. Hey, my Seahawks won today, so I'm shocked beyond all shocked. It was directed by Bob Clark, released by Warner Brothers Pictures, had a $686,000 budget. Yeah, no, that's probably about right. And made a
Whopping.
whopping, just like the cool whip,
Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
because it's whopping.
Whip.
$4 million box office
Oh,
worldwide.
okay.
So, well, I mean, $4 million back in 1974 was a lot of freaking money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
But I'm not
Yeah.
pulling up the inflation calculator to figure out what that would translate to today. It's still not one of the top box offices of all time, but
Oh no. It's a horror movie. Are they ever?
uh, Nightmare 1, Halloween,
Well, yeah.
Nightmare 3. That's about it.
Anyway,
Um, if you want to check it out and you have not seen it, it is available to stream on the Peacock. You can also find the other two remakes on Tubi and Max. Uh, now comes the fun part. We're going to get into the Rotten Tomato scores. I'm assuming, like last week, both of my amazing co-hosts know what the Rotten Tomato score for this movie is.
I don't.
Okay, well then you can wager
No,
against.
I didn't. I didn't have to do a rewatch.
Oh,
I've watched this enough times. Like
Mm.
it's one of them. It's like I said, it's got a special place in my heart because of the weirdness, the time it came out, especially for the time it came out, and then like a lot of the things that you know. Every time I had watched it, looking back, it was always kind of like, "Oh wow, that would have been really neat if blah 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 blah."
Plus, you gotta love when a guy dressed as Santa says "fuck."
Right.
Ho ho fuck. was great.
All right then. On that note, since you selected the movie, Chance, would you like to, without using the spread, wager a guess as to what you think the Rotten Tomato score for Black Christmas is?
uh, so I'm gonna say that it's probably like a similar type thing because this thing ain't that good to be super amazing. So it's definitely not like out of the 70s range. I'm gonna fucking use the spread to my advantage.
The only thing spread here is Jess's legs. No spread on this thing.
I was just like, wait, what? No, I was gonna say by using the spread, I was gonna say for the critic score, I'm gonna go with my originals. Like, if I was to rate this over thing as a spread between this and this, I would say 70 and 75 is kind of like my in between. So I'll go 70 with the first one, which is what, the tomato meter or like the critic meter or whatever, and then 75 with the poppy corny fan thing.
Okay.
I never can tell which one's which. That's why I was like between the critics and the fans.
The tomato meter is the critics. The popcorn meter is the fans.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Like our
Then
amazing freaking audience.
no, see, those are the unpopped kernels. They're. It's like we're like the island of misfit toys for movies. So that's like
We
that's
really
It's
where
Jiffy
are.
Pop Squad.
the Jiffy Pop Squad. That's
My
great.
dad
That's
would
true.
call them the Jiffy
I
Pop.
know.
The
I
unpopped
thought.
kernels of the Jiffy Squad.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with 69 for the tomato meter. Both a funny number and I'm gonna Price is Right, Chancy.
That's okay.
I'm gonna go with 77 for the audience. I feel like people liked this movie, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean that's not. I don't think that's outrageous.
I'm not gonna lie. You literally prices righted him the wrong direction.
Ah, crap. That figures.
What?
71% on the tomato meter,
Nice.
and
Well, I said 69, so that's but he said 70. Okay.
Yeah.
and then the popcorn meter was literally smack dab in the middle of both of your guesses at 76%.
Nice.
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 So,
That's fucking awesome.
Landed in the middle of the spread.
before I turn over the stage to my awesome co-host and let her 90-second beat the clock challenge the fuck out of this movie, um, I do want to take a second to encourage not checking out remakes of said movie that we're discussing, because the Rotten Tomato meter for the 2006 movie has it at 13%.
Yeah, because that movie was shit.
And the Blumhouse remake from 2019, the tomato meter is at 40%.
Damn.
So
Blumhouse
neither
is
of the
really hit and miss.
yeah, Halloween 2018, and
Oh, well,
then
that was a banger.
kills and then ends. But
Somebody watching TV? Or is that me? Why do I hear
me.
people talking? I don't know. Maybe it's me. Ma'am? Can I help you? What's up?
She's going cuckoo, people.
Carl, be
All right.
quiet. I've been cuckoo.
Cuckoo for
All
Cocoa
right.
Puffs. All right, are you ready to beat the clock?
Yep.
Okie dokie, clock and stopwatch, and on your mark, get set, go.
Okay. As winter break begins, a group of sorority sisters, including Jess and the often inebriated Barb, begin to receive anonymous, I don't know that word, anonymous dirty phone calls. Initially, Barb eggs the caller on, but stops when he responds threateningly and with disgusting language. Soon, their friend Claire goes missing from the sorority house, and a local girl is murdered, leading the girls to suspect a serial killer is on the loose. But no one realizes just how near the culprit is. Dun dun dun.
33 seconds.
Nice.
I swear, we're gonna have to change this from. We're gonna have to take Chancy's advice and change this from 90 seconds to a different.
About 45.
I think that's probably a good parameter. We can discuss when we're off the air.
A minute and a half is a really long time if you think about it, to listen to somebody describe like the plot of a movie. Like, that's a long time. So,
Very true. So, are we ready to rip off said Band-Aid?
show us.
So, well, Chancy got to go first the last time. So, co-host, what did you find fascinating about Black Christmas?
I mean, I don't know that I found anything fascinating, but there were some things I liked. I definitely love the main first kill, Claire. I think I even put that in my top 5 horror movie kills, the dry cleaning bag or whatever, which I hate. I hate like anything with suffocation or drowning or not being able to breathe, like drives me insane. But I thought that was an interesting kill, and they just kept going back to it, like just kept showing her rocking in that chair. Um,
She's literally like one of the. This isn't really spoiling it, but one of the last
It's like
people you see
yeah.
as the credits are getting ready to fucking roll at the end of the movie too.
And I do, if you were just listening to this movie and not looking at the people, I think you would get the college feel. Like the way that they talk and kind of the way that they interact, like a lot of that is very like sorority girlish and adolescent-ish. Now, if you're looking at it, you're like, we're supposed to believe these people are in college, but I guess we'll get to that.
Well,
you know,
one of the college
a,
students is Lois Lane.
that
Did somebody Google how old
touche.
Margaret Kidder was when she made this? Because she looks at least 30. The
Okay,
only
well,
person in this movie that looks college age is the girl that played Claire, and she dies first. Like, both of the Ted Bundy
so
looking guys look 40.
okay, keep talking amongst yourselves. I
Uh,
will find out how old the
I mean, this is pre-Superman, but still, yeah. I
not
really like.
very much pre Superman.
Well, I know that, but
We're talking like 3 years prior to them actually filming the movie.
I really liked the house mom. I thought she was really funny. I loved how she was hiding booze everywhere, like in the book and in the back of the toilet.
Right.
She was great. That book thing was awesome. And I thought the suspense was fairly well paced. Like I, I don't know. It's hard to talk about it without talking about the things I didn't like, but um, I think it's a fun slasher holiday type thing. So
So, update on my research. Margot Kidder was 26 years old when Black Friday was filmed.
she had not looked 26. I
It
mean,
was
maybe. I think the thing is too is that people looked older back then than they were, and now it's like people look a lot younger than they are. And I don't know what all that is, but I'll see girls that are like 21 that look like they're 16, and it feels like it used to go the opposite way. So Anyway, yeah.
And just for
Oh,
future reference, also, so what? That's 3. All right. So the original OG Norma Bates, Olivia Hussey,
mhm.
was 23 years old when
Okay, that I could see
she.
that.
So at least they kind of sort of got her right. She still even looks like a college age student
Yeah.
when Margot Rob or not Margot Robbie.
You wish.
I would, dude. Mm. um,
Ew.
Margot Kidder comes and enters the scene for the first time at the beginning. It's like, okay, you really, she really does not look like a 20-something-year-old.
Oh, she was giving champagne to like a 7-year-old.
Well, that and I mean, I think that's also another explanation for why the camera work was so blurry and
Yeah.
grainy and not very shot well. It's like we're just gonna make it. They'll look like college kids when you blur it up a bit.
Well, I mean,
That
they
Ron Jeremy
had.
looking motherfucker dressed like Santa looked like he was 40. He was like, ho ho fuck. Yeah, ho ho fuck, because you are too old to be
Well,
in this movie, sir.
if we're going to be comparing people's ages, let's just bring up the fact that not only is the amazing multi horror movie cop fascinated John Saxon in this
Ugh,
movie,
come to mama.
but this is 10 years prior to him
In Elm Street.
in Nightmare. Yeah, in Nightmare on Elm Street, and he still looks exactly the same
Yeah,
age in both of those movies.
he is fucking hot in both. I'd smash.
So
Literally hard.
he's probably
John
old enough
Saxon is
to.
so hot.
Um,
Growing up is realizing
good
that
thing
the
you're.
hot guy in Nightmare on Elm Street isn't Johnny Depp, it's John Saxon. Just saying.
Well, I mean, Shannon would
Plus, the
probably
fact that he
agree.
was a martial arts expert kind of helps.
He is, I believe, wasn't it?
He karate chopped me.
Enter the Dragon that he was in with Bruce Lee.
I think so.
I think Chuck Norris was in Enter the Dragon.
Oh.
I don't. I there was a
I
lot of
don't
people.
remember. I don't remember either, but I know that John Saxon was a super huge martial artist.
Well,
Yeah,
he knows
he was.
kung fu and he can kung fu my hooey.
Well,
Just
I mean,
saying.
now that you put it that way, everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah. Whew, yeah, I forgot to mention I love John Saxon, but I was going to talk about that later. But yeah, what's not to love about him? Shit.
Oh no, I fully knew that you have a heart-shaped crush on Mr. Saxon, and I was not going to let that
Panty dropper.
go. Oh, where's your dad when we need him?
Not here. Sorry. He is watching. I did send it to him, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Chauncey Ponce.
Normally, by now, he chimes in with a comment that he's
Yeah.
here and all of that. So, Chancy, what did you like about this movie? I'm sure there's going to be a list that's long and distinguished, like my Johnson.
Um, no, not so much. I mean, I really did enjoy like a lot of one of like the case in point when he's making that kill, and they pay more attention to uh the swans, the glass swans next to her.
Yeah. Also, what college kid has that much crystal in their room? But whatever.
Some people that can afford, evidently, to go to that college.
But that was some Swarovski shit that he was stabbing her with.
So, pause
Yeah,
for the
that was
cause
cool.
really quick. Just so everybody knows, um, everybody's favorite covert ops fan is watching. He has liked the episode so far. He has given us a thumbs up. So,
Well, that could just mean he's rooting us on and he didn't hear me say the words panty dropper.
Right?
Panties drop is very nice.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's from a movie. That's from Varsity Blues. Come on now. I didn't make that up.
I know.
Tweeter.
The fucking team.
10. Would you sign my yearbook?
I don't
I don't
want
want your life.
your life.
We're gonna
Good
do Varsity
God.
Blues on the show just so I can say that 5 million times.
Oh, hey.
Were you gonna prom with me? That's what he said.
I have no problem with doing Varsity Blues on the show. I freaking love that movie, and I can think of a couple valid reasons why to love
I love
But-
Scott Conn. He always has the best lines.
that. Hold on to your nipples.
Stranger, sit on your hand till it's numb, then you rub one out.
That's gone.
Yeah,
I know
for
that's
sure.
not-
Yeah. I know, but still, even yeah. I mean, he's still the same guy. It's just a different movie.
Think y'all
Yeah.
enjoy Prison Tweeter? All right. Anyway, sorry.
Well,
Talking about some glass kills.
Yes.
yeah, no. I mean, it was. I mean, that was just kind of what I was when I was talking about all the things that I thought were really ahead of the time or ahead of the curve and stuff of that nature, like the at times it definitely felt like there was a lot of like living homage to Alfred Hitchcock and also like other cinematic styles, but at the same time I felt that they kind of like almost leaned too far into because like we already had the monster we already had the monster in the attic, but like we didn't need the weird art deco styling of the way they set up the shot to go back and forth from the crystals to the blood to the death to the dead to the dead. It was just kind of like, okay, like, are we a cheap horror film or are we gonna actually like go full-fledged art deco here? Like,
I mean, it
I
was a cheapish horror film.
I know, and that they chose to go that route, and I'm glad that they made the decision. But it was kind of in that moment, you're kind of like, okay, well, what are we trying to do here? But they ended up, it was really just that one particular one that stood out for that circumstance to me. But it was definitely, like I said, ahead of the curve because like you wouldn't see stuff like that outside of that one, scene in that particular film until like later in the 80s when they were kind of thinking that they were being clever and making it nuanced and bringing it into other full franchise films. I want to say I think it was either Friday the 13th or the Hellraiser films that they were doing. I think it was Hellbound where they went on the back and forth from that. Anyway, that particular thing doesn't matter. It's kind of a digression, but still, it's just there was a lot of cool things that I think if outside of it being like that early into the game, I really think that it shouldn't have had those two crappy remakes because now to offer like or to mention it, a new remake is almost kind of like a really you do not catch the two garbage pail films we got over here.
Yeah, I don't know why Blumhouse decided to do that after. I feel like Halloween did the whole Hitchcockian thing a little bit better. I feel like this tried to do it, and obviously we know that John Carpenter was inspired by Black Christmas, which is now kind of why I think it's a cult classic because people watched Halloween and Halloween got all this whatever, and then people kind of went back and were like, oh, okay, appreciating Black Christmas for what it was, but also for the inspiration for the movies that came after it. But
Right.
I do feel like you're like it tried a little too hard in certain parts.
Mm-hmm.
But bravo to them for pushing the boundaries with that language.
Yeah.
Not that I feel like it was a little tacky considering it's a That's just my
Well,
personal opinion. I feel like they didn't
I
need to
would.
go that far, but
they
I
don't
mean,
hold
it's
back
it's
at all with the fucking
it's tacky now, but not then. Like
yeah,
then, it would have been a. It wouldn't have been as tacky then as it is now because of the whole.
saying cunt back then like that.
No, exactly, but that's what makes it not tacky. It would have been so much more faux pas, like off, like
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I can't fucking believe that this was. Oh my goodness, exactly. Now it's fucking tacky because everybody and their dogs running around there screaming and swearing and saying all types of crazy nonsense that totally it just waters down that particular thing and makes it tacky now. But it's at the time it was almost to you could almost equivalent make it the equivalent of everyone saying TCM was like so gory but has like almost no
Oh,
blood.
fair. I mean, I think too. My other thing with that was that the girls' reactions weren't. I mean, especially for Barb. Okay, like we get it. Barb's a drunk. Barb's probably a slut. She's the that girl of the house, which fine, whatever. But Barb's just like nobody is shocked by this guy's language. I feel like, and it was like that language is shocking for 1974. Like, and I'm not like bashing it. I just feel like their reactions weren't visceral enough to him saying, "I'm gonna lick your pretty pink blah blah blah," and what? Like, it was really graphic because it wasn't just that he was saying
Yeah,
the word cunt or the word pussy. It was like this graphic description of what he was gonna do to them. Like that was like mind blowing.
for
Um,
sure.
and I feel
I
like their
agree with
reaction
that.
should have been a little more.
Shocked,
But
frightened,
again, they were getting these phone calls before, so maybe they were just used to it. I don't know.
I suppose. I mean, I guess, but like at the same time, I mean, you'd think that there was, I don't know. Like to me, I always kind of figured like, okay, maybe they were getting those calls on the regular before, but there's like a marked difference between like what they're getting in this film and then like your stereotypical college, frat house, hijinks thing like that.
Yeah.
That is a whole step in the other direction there.
I mean, if somebody called me now and said that to me, I would be like, I would be disgusted. Like I would be revolted because it's like some stranger and whatever for that time period, especially for sorority girls. Because if you were a sorority girl, especially back then, you were typically well bred, wealthy, like all of these things. Like, not to say that people hadn't heard those words because you're in college and you're hanging out with fraternity guys. Of course, you've heard them, but it
Mm.
just,
But I mean, at the same time, you also have to go back to the fact that, like, uh, Mrs. Mack made the comment at one point during, the movie where these broads would hump the Leaning Tower of Pisa if they could get up there.
yeah.
So they're obviously not that refined.
I loved her when
Oh
she's like,
no.
she's talking to the dad, Claire's dad, and she's trying to be all like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Claire's a good girl and all this. And then she's up with the cat. She's like, Claude, God damn it, you little prick. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
I loved her. I was sad she died so soon. She was funny.
Yeah, she was like the anti Mrs. Garrett.
I
Very much
was
so.
just going to say that. She reminded me of a dirty version of Mrs. Garrett.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
you're like, Kasey, what did you like about the movie? What fascinated you?
So obviously, this is a movie that, like we had, you know, been discussing before I saw this years after I first saw Halloween. And
Yeah, me too.
it's definitely not a cheap shot by any stretch of the imagination, but you can definitely tell that there are some very stark similarities between Carpenter and Clark's movies.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I
that's
think
not,
the killer POV thing, while it's only in the beginning of Halloween, I feel like that killer POV thing was like definitely inspired by this movie.
oh, absolutely 100. That was the very first thing I noticed when the movie started was it's like, okay, you've got the camera or the POV of the killer coming up to the door and peeking in the window and wandering around it's like, okay, this feels very Halloween esque, and at the same time,
And
it's like,
then,
go ahead, Chance.
oh, sorry. I was going to say, we also cannot forget about what then came from the evolution from Black Christmas to Halloween, which is Maniac, which always and forever will be the quintessential, like, experimental, like, horror film in the sense of totally taking everything in a whole new direction. And the remake that they did with Elijah Wood is fucking chef's kiss, and I
Is
sincerely
it
cannot
really?
wait for the. Oh my
Okay.
god, it's
I
so
haven't seen it.
good. I cannot wait until I get the opportunity to bring that one on here. Oh my goodness.
All right, I have to watch it now because I haven't seen it. Because I was like,
I
Maniac was good, but it's not like one of my favorites. But so I was like, I don't know if I want to watch a remake. But
So, like, for me, the reason that the original one is such a selling point for me is I'm a huge fan of Tom Savini, but that's
right,
neither here nor there. We can go back to Black Christmas.
God, I love Tom Savini. His accent is ridiculous. Okay.
Yes, he's a national treasure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I definitely, if I had seen these two movies in order, I definitely feel like Black Christmas 100% laid the groundwork for John Carpenter to take the ball and, run it up the middle and score the touchdown like he did with
Yeah.
Halloween.
Well, hold on. That I'd have to say that I mean, if we're going for stylings, then okay, I suppose that would definitely be a valid argument. But like, we can't talk about Black Christmas and then jump to Halloween without mentioning Texas Chainsaw, because that's like the in
Yeah.
between on that.
Yeah.
Well, I
It'd be
didn't
like,
necessarily mean to, 86 freaking
oh, I
TCM out of the
know.
whole discussion.
That's why I was wanting to make sure, because if we were talking about like stylings, then absolutely, yeah, TCM doesn't need to be brought into the discussion. But as far as
Yeah. That's different.
moving the goalpost, as far, or moving the high water marks when it comes to like horror films in the 70s and stuff, then yeah, like, yeah, Black Christmas for sure. And then like they ran the ball and like did like a lateral pass to TCM, who got over the first down line. And then yeah,
Hail Mary to
absolutely,
Carpenter. He fucking caught it.
yeah. Oh fuck yeah, exactly. They thought they were gonna do another run. They threw a fucking Hail Mary. Carpenter caught that shit. Spike the shot.
Then went
Then
for
and
two and
then
got that too.
I was gonna say, and then Sean Cunningham was like, "We're gonna steal that shit," and then went for two.
I mean, but John Carpenter did with Halloween what I wish this movie had done. So when we get to
Yeah,
the things that we don't like, I will talk about that a little bit because
I think
I
Okay.
that
have
her.
about this movie.
We're probably gonna have mostly the same agreements in the disagree, or of what we dislike, I should say. I will absolutely agree to that
Well, I mean,
inherently.
on that note, what would you like to bring up as far as the you didn't particularly care for about the movie? I know that there's one probably big fat glaring one, but
I think I mean for me there's little things, like especially like how old some of these people looked, but
Hmm.
every 70s and 80s movie, that's just the thing we have to deal with. I mean, when you watch Revenge of the Nerds, half of those people don't look like they're in college. So that's just the 70s and 80s thing you get. So fine, whatever. I'll let that go. I feel like what I like that John Carpenter did with Halloween versus what I wish they would have done with this movie, and also kind of like the same with When a Stranger Calls, or at least like the opening 20 minutes or whatever. They gave this killer so much. What's the word I'm looking for? There was a lot of meat in what was going on with him. Like when he's making these phone calls, he's not just breathing heavily. He's going on these psychotic ravings about Billy and Agnes and like screaming and changing voices and all this stuff. And they are having him do this every single time. So when you get the ending, which is the same kind of ending that John Carpenter did with Halloween, where you realize the killer's still alive, for me, it fell flat because I feel like in this instance, the killer should have been revealed because the way they built it up with all these phone calls to me felt like we were going to get some kind of plot twist. Like, not that it was a boyfriend, that was too obvious, but that it was,
Right.
I'm
it was
glad it
going to be
wasn't the boyfriend.
somebody.
'Cause I remember watching and thinking the whole time, I'm like, I swear to God, if it's him, I'm gonna freaking put my fist through the damn TV screen.
He's too obvious, but yeah, when he
Yeah.
beat up that piano, I was like, does this kid not know what these things cost? That lets you know they're rich. But if the phone calls had just been breathing or like very minimal dialogue, but it's like they want you to believe this person is really crazy and like, what is all this stuff they're talking about? Is it just nonsense or is it? I felt like they built it up that we were going to get some big reveal about the killer, and then they just left it flat. And I would have liked that ending, except for the way that they built the killer up, if that makes sense.
No,
If he just
I'm yeah.
quieter, I would have been all for that ending because it was a good ending, but not with what they gave us. You want
I mean,
more?
I would have been kosher with like a meeting in the middle as far as like still going with him going hard to lay down the track. You know, we in the business like to call this foreshadowing, but like let the crazy
There was
be,
nothing to foreshadow to. That's the
but
thing.
like dial it back, like not so many phone calls or something to that effect, like and then like a combination. Honestly, like I would have loved for there to have been the build up where there's like all this crazy nonsense, and then like when they do the tap, and then like maybe like the first call on the tap, there's some craziness to let the cops know that there's really a kind of a thing, and then maybe like he catches on to a tap, so but he can't control the compulsion to do the thing, so he calls, and then he starts breathing into the phone. Because then they no longer can tell if it's actually like your stereotypical prank caller or the creeper. And then I guess with us having grown up outside of that whole you know curiosity of whether or not urban legends are real. I mean, everybody saw the urban legend coming out of that thing like right out the
Yeah.
gate, especially when they were talking about like when they were walking through the house doing the interview process. I was like, you mean wait, and then come on.
There's another phone, but it's a different number. Oh, well, there we go. Okay.
Oh, clearly
Well,
nobody's using that.
I will say if I had
Yeah.
seen this before I had seen When a Stranger Calls, I probably wouldn't have picked up on that because none of us were born when this movie came out. And
Right.
I was so young when I saw When a Stranger Calls that really did shock me. And yeah, I mean, as a babysitter and as a teenager, those urban legends were always in my head because of that movie. So I didn't see Black Christmas till I was in college.
Oh, right
So
on.
I
Perfect
don't
time
know.
to watch it, I suppose.
I feel like I really liked the ending, but it didn't fit with the rest of the movie. So I feel like
Yeah.
one or the other needed to change to be more cohesive. The other thing is that everybody in this movie is fucking stupid. Even our final girl, which don't get me wrong, Lori in Halloween was also fucking stupid. But
Co-host.
what? Oh, hello, father. Yes, he was born then. It's okay. We won't tell, except you just told. Um, I mean,
We won't tell what your daughter was talking about before you showed up either.
what are these girls doing going upstairs and going to sleep by themselves when they're getting obscene phone calls and they know there's a killer on the loose? Like, why aren't they all sitting in the same room together? Why is she? So this was the other thing, and tell me what you guys think about this. So Jess gets that last phone call while the police are figuring out that the call's coming from inside the house.
Oh,
She's on the phone and the guy is screaming and she keeps looking up, but she never acts like she can hear what's going on upstairs. How the fuck did she not hear that? The guy was screaming like, like, and she keeps looking up there, so you think she's making the connection, but then you realize she's not. So A, how did she not hear it? And B, why does she keep looking upstairs if she can't hear that? Like, that annoyed me. And then the
I
guy's
mean,
literally telling her, get out of the house. And she's like, oh no, Barb, Phil, Barb, Phil. And
yeah, and he's just like, he flat out, he's like, no, like, for real. I
Oh,
have to tell you exactly.
I love when the cop's like, if you screw this up, I'll kill you. And then what does that stupid Mayberry ass cop do? He screws it up.
Well, I mean,
Right?
those cops are not the smartest fucking cops in the world either.
I will say that fellatio thing cracked me up, though.
Right? I died.
He's like, what? It's something dirty, isn't it? And they're just like laughing their asses off at him.
Oh, I know.
Something dirty.
Yeah, I just feel like a lot of the, I wanted to root for Jess, and I did root for her, and I'm glad that she survived, but I just feel like she was just dumb, and all the other people were dumb. I mean, I'll give Barb a pass because she was drunk, so she went upstairs and passed out. Fine, whatever. And I'll give you that they couldn't hear Barb being killed, or that Jess couldn't because of the carolers. Like, I thought that was a good cover for that. I thought they did that well. But her not being able to hear the guy on the phone screaming obscenities, and she's right downstairs. That house is not that big, y'all. Like, it's a big house, but it's not like you can't hear shit upstairs big. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That bothered me.
Right. And echoey enough, you would think that I honestly would have thought that even with the Kaylers, with it being a big old house and big old hallways and echoey, like, nah. Nah. Like, that should have carried.
'Cause he
Especially
was
with
in the
nothing else going on in the. Yeah.
He was in the house mom's room, so he wasn't even in the attic, or he was
Right.
in a room that was on the same. Like, she should have been able to hear that, and it looked like she could because she kept looking up. I'm like, what the fuck is she looking at if she can't hear that? Idiot.
I think that was just a very. I think that was a very shitty way of them to like try and have that be potentially a thing, but they like dropped the ball on the her playing it off, thinking it's something else part. Like, I think she was like, is something going, like, what am I actually hearing something? Like, I think that was supposed to be kind of a thing, but the whole like, nah, can't be part was just really far too downplayed on the actress's part, like,
Yeah.
just like not presented well enough to be actually. But that's just me, like, potentially trying to defend that thing, because I definitely agree with what you're saying, but to me, it almost like they left it in there on purpose because it was supposed to be a thing, but they didn't have anything else to bring it to the ending of that thing where it's like, oh, she just brushed it off on the phone.
I would love to see this movie done with a better, like, a twist type ending. I mean, obviously it has a twist ending because you think it's Peter and it's not.
Right.
But and that brings me to the other thing. There is no fucking way that all the cops would have left that house and left her in that bed sleeping by herself, and B, that they didn't search that entire house and not find the bodies in the attic. Like, come on. But whatever.
Well, I mean, this is Mayberry RFD.
Maybe. John Saxon isn't Mayberry. He knows his shit.
Yeah, but
my shit.
as I say, not as I do. I mean, it's not like.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a fun movie. I would like to see it with. Okay, this is what it felt like to me the first time I watched it. I thought it was going to be like a sleepaway camp type thing, not to that extent of like, oh, the girl's a boy and there's a dick in the picture, but I thought there was going to be some kind of like sleepaway camp style twist, and then you just get it left like, which, like I said, which is why I appreciate what John Carpenter did, because he did that the right way. Because Michael was an enigma. There was nothing to know about him. So it makes sense that he just disappears into nothing. So I'm done. Sorry.
Word. I totally agree.
Part 2.
No, we're not talking about that. Word to your mother.
Chancy Greif, what was it? Was there anything else that you particularly didn't care for?
No, she definitely covered all my grievances. Like, I had a pretty good feeling that it was going to be kind of one of them types of movies where, she'd be able to voice my problems that I had with it. There ain't really much for me to go into that she hadn't already gone into. And if I did, I'd just beat that horse to death and then beat it again because it didn't get up when I told it to.
Oh.
Poor horsey.
Yeah, I just feel like it was a missed opportunity with the ending. I like what they tried to do, but it wasn't cohesive in my opinion. Still like
I
the
agree.
movie, but
I
it
think it
was like
was.
it didn't match.
I think it was one of those like I don't want to say Event Horizon moments because I don't. I do think Event Horizon is a better film, but I think it's one of them things where a movie does something that's not like when it tries to like either when it tries or when it does fully venture out into something that's not really charted, and then they do really good stuff in this area and this area, and then sometimes we'll end up with like a Late Night with the Devil when it's a oh shit, we come up
Oh
with
God.
all this material and then we got to hurry up and tie a bow on this and get the fucking people
Yeah.
out of the theater. You know, it's
But
kind of
this
one of those
movie
things like
it
yeah,
had you asking why too much. Like when you
right,
watch, and I'm not trying to compare them. I'm just comparing them for how I see how one did it a little bit better. Like
yeah,
Halloween, you're kind of watching it and you're going, man, why is this guy so crazy? But they're not giving you anything about him to question. Whereas in this
Yeah.
right.
movie, every time this guy makes a phone call, he gets more and more unhinged. And you're like, why is he doing this? What is he talking about? Who's Agnes? Who's Billy? Like,
Yeah.
they
Why
need
is he
to really
so
understand.
unhinged?
Like,
And then
this
they
dude
don't.
is fucking unhinged. I need to know what his deal is.
And then they don't give you any of the information that you need,
Yeah. It's like giving you popcorn and saying no better.
which is just movie blasphemy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Rude.
So,
Anyway.
um, well, if there's anything else that anybody else doesn't want to cover, do we want to move on to our overall thoughts and opinions of the movie?
Yes, but can I say one more thing about this? Was actually something I thought was cool. Watching how they traced the phone calls. That was wild, especially watching it now.
Right?
Like as a kid, it's like it made more sense. But watching it now, I'm like, oh my God. Can you imagine having to run around that whole thing, pulling canisters out, like looking for where this line is coming from? Like that was
Oh,
pretty cool. I have to say, I liked that.
so really quick along that same line, though, there is a valid reason that I learned in this movie why the death rate or the overall death age of people had to be so fucking low back then. Because if you were like having a heart attack and had to call the freaking 911 was just getting off the damn ground at this point.
Yeah.
So you actually had to dial a full blown number. But the damn telephones back then, 3,
Yeah.
6,
Little
and
rotary phones.
Well, so
and then,
no, that's but the
and then
thing
if
is
you
though
screwed
is
up,
that
you had to hang up, pick up, dial, start over from square one again.
but for what you're talking for what you're talking about though, they actually did have a contingency for emergencies in that scenario, so the rotary wasn't necessary because you could click the fucking receiver, like 5 or 10 times, and it would take you to the operator. And then,
Mm.
of course, they'd be like, I got, patch me through to the police. And then what's your party? Fucking plug it in the switchboard kind of thing. But I definitely know what you're talking about with the rotary phone because I had one of those growing up too, and it was just like you
My
had to
grandma
like.
had one. I love to use it. I was like,
And
do
then
y'all
you
like the
have
sound
to
effects? That's what we're here for.
then you have to wait for it to get back to like
Yeah.
reset because if they have like a bunch of zeros in there, you got to wait for it to get back,
Yeah.
otherwise it doesn't dial it out as a zero. It's like, for fuck's sake.
God forbid you had a 9 or a 0, like multiple of those in your numbers.
Oh no, like literally the last 3 digits in my phone number were 008, so I had to like schlickja.
Oh God, I do not miss rotary phones. But
I think they're
uh,
cute,
I,
but no.
I was gonna say I thought they were cool.
they're cool, but at the same time, it could be annoying as fuck. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
my grandma had one of the ones that looked like the old French phones, that were real fancy.
Yeah.
So anytime I go and
Yeah.
I'd be like, can I call my mom just because I wanted to pick it up and be like, oh, look at me, I'm so fancy.
Uh,
I'm so fancy. You already know.
which one of you would like to go first for your overall review?
I mean, I was gonna say ladies first.
All right, I'll go. Mine will be quick. Yeah, I mean everything I said already,
That's what she said.
kind of. Excusez-moi.
I said that's what she said.
Okay. Okay. Um. Yeah, I mean it's a fun movie for what it is. It's a good. The holiday horror films are always a lot of fun. And I thought this one did a good job of incorporating the holiday stuff without making it like overly Christmassy. You got the kids and the ho ho fuck Santa, and you got the carolers, but other than that, it's really just like Christmas lights, and everybody's on break. So it's a horror movie, but you still get the like holiday elements and all the snow and all that. It's fun. I'm not like giving it high praise, but I appreciate it for what it tried to do and for what it did. I'm going to give it 3.5 dry cleaner bags. That really is still one of my favorite kills ever, I will say.
It's a good one.
As much as this isn't like one of my favorite horror movies, that kill is like
It's pretty iconic. I
so
mean,
scary. And yeah, it's iconic,
Yeah.
like especially for the time. So
I mean, I think I'm pretty sure it ended up going on like the poster and shit. So I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah. Which is a spoiler,
Yeah.
opinion, but whatever.
Ooh.
Whoa.
As a matter of fact, you can check out the social media for one KCB, and you can see the actual movie poster and the fact that yes, it is what's her face with the dry cleaner bag over the face.
Oh, sorry. One more
No, go ahead.
thing, and we don't have to go into it because we're already like running long, but I wish I brought this up earlier. I love that they had Jess as this like independent woman. Like I I feel like her character, like talking about being ahead of its time, she was ahead of the times. Like, the Peter's like, I'm gonna quit the conservatory and we're gonna get married. And she's like, excuse me? And like she's already like, I'm pregnant and I don't want it. And like, you're not gonna change my like, and again, not saying that those aren't nuanced conversations and people should have them and whatever, but I like that she wasn't one of those typical like 60s, 70s, she really embraced the late 70s where like women were, not wearing bras and, taking charge of their own sexual health and just like all of these things. I feel like she was a very strong final girl. And you're just like shitting all over my point with that, Kasey.
No, I 100% agree with everything that Amanda says, and I'm a smart ass. Ha ha ha.
You're fine.
But
But yeah, I really loved her character for all of that. So, okay, now I'm done.
ultimately, though, and I think you and I had talked about it at one point, was Jess really is close to being one of the OG final girls.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Laurie Strode is more recognized and more popular, but, as much as I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and I do, I've seen her post things like she posted on her Instagram not too long ago about being the first final girl. And it's like, you're not the first final girl. Like, you're probably the most popular final girl, and I'm okay with that, but you're not. I mean, yeah, Jess, and I'm pretty sure there was a movie before that, not a lot of people have seen, but yeah, if you were gonna
Sally and Right?
But that's after this, right?
No, Texas Chainsaw came out before fucking Halloween.
No, I meant Black Christmas.
Oh yeah, same. They both. Yeah. No. Oh wait, no.
Texas
Did it come out?
Came out after. Yeah, it came out in like 77.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about Halloween being. No, yes. So no.
I mean, yeah, I see how I confuse you, but I would just say that yeah, Jess. If you ask me who's the first final girl, it's Jess for me.
I would say that they're
Sally. And
I mean, I would say it's probably it's probably Jess and Sally, or I don't know. I thought that TCM came out earlier than 77, but it could have been.
I could be wrong.
I'm googling it as we speak.
It might have been 77, but I thought it was after Black Christmas. But I could, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was
Wait.
after Black Christmas, but.
But also, really, the problem is the
Okay.
term "final girl" wasn't really even coined
That-
until Scream, or around that time. And then with Scream came the popularization of Laurie as the first final girl. So
I thought
think
Siskel and
Uh-huh.
I thought Siskel and Ebert had coined that phrase "final girl" like in the 80s when they would shit on the fucking horror franchises.
probably, but I feel like it didn't get a lot of attention until that. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
In answer to the question, who is the first final girl?
Well, I guess
The
it
first
technically
final girl
would be the
is
lady from Psycho.
No, she died.
No, not when Norman. Not when they found out Norman was the killer. She didn't die.
You mean the sister? She doesn't count. She wasn't a main character.
Okay, valid. I guess that's valid. I'll allow it.
She is not a final girl. Sorry, but yeah.
No.
So, Black Christmas came out on December 20th, 1974.
Mm-hmm.
So, Olivia Hussey would be the number 2.
TCM was 74, wasn't it?
October 1st, 1974.
All right.
Oh shit!
All right.
My
So it's Sally.
my gypsy gut was like, "Hey, this ain't right here," but I wasn't necessarily all the way right. But it's all good. It's literally within the same. It's in the same fiscal quarter. So I mean, come on.
I was going to say,
Well,
I mean,
no,
you
that
really
depends.
compare the
That-
literally
It depends on your fiscal year.
TCM literally came out in October, and then
That makes sense.
2 months later, you get Black Christmas.
I think
If I was gonna
is
say,
the most popular final girl.
that's also a valid statement. But if we're gonna go based off of like, I don't know, that's kind of tricky. I would almost say Sally would have to win it if we were gonna go between Black Christmas Final Girl and Texas Chainsaw Final Girl, just because Sally fucking. I'd say Sally's night was a little bit more rough than everybody else's in that other one. That's kind of a rough go.
Yeah.
On that note, Chancy
My
Grice,
bad. And I don't remember the 70s. We know you don't. I know how much weed you guys smoked. I remember smelling it, even in the 80s. So I can't even imagine.
well, I mean, we're not here to judge.
They would send me and my brother to our rooms and then like just get high. And I'm like, y'all think we can't smell that? Now, granted, I didn't know what the smell was at the time, but later I was like, okay, that's what they were doing.
Oh, I fully can chime in with stories along the same line, but
I remember hearing James Taylor coming from the living room, smelling that skunky smell.
That's funny. I have a similar story, just not necessarily involving my parents, because they owned a property at the end of the street that we rented out to, and they were like, "Hey, go down there and collect the rent." So I went down there to collect the rent, and he opened that door, and it was just nothing but just like the rancid smell of cat piss, and I was like, I don't get
Yep.
that. Huh? I wonder what's up with that. Why am I so hungry and tired all of a sudden? I gotta go home. I gotta go home now.
I'm gonna go tell my mom they got a cat without permission. That
Nah,
wasn't on the lease. You didn't pay the pet deposit.
nah, they didn't care about nothing like that. I didn't even say anything really, because like to me it was none of my business kind of thing. Like I'm here to collect the rent. I got the rent. I don't think. No, that's between y'all.
Oh, and then they burn incense. Like that makes it any better. But the 80s. What are you gonna
Depends
do?
on it. It depends on the flavor of it.
Give your review. I gotta go get ready for Tay Tay.
I'll go with the solid. I was gonna go 2 3/4, but I'll go solid 3 because like Honestly, a lot of them are going to probably be middle of the road threes for me, unless it's either like horrendous dog shit or like something like stellar that's going to throw me in one way or the other, just to kind of keep it fair and you know, at least some kind of. I don't want to. We like you guys were starting it off with the show. You don't want to oversaturate. I know I was there for a while that everything I was bringing was like the greatest thing since individually
Yeah.
wrapped cheese slices. But then
We're very
again, a lot
liberal
of
with our reviews because we love movies so much. And not saying you don't, but just like sometimes we're not objective just because, sometimes it's hard to be objective about a movie you love, even when you know objectively it's probably not a 5, but in your
Right.
heart it's like a 6. So,
right. But yeah.
all right.
So I would probably go somewhere along the lines of same ballpark as my co-host. I'll go 3.25 crystal figurines out of 5.
To unicorn horns to stab someone with.
Well, better than fucking duct tape on a fucking severed
On a
carotid artery.
I give fucking don't. I almost didn't get it, and then I got it, and then like the blood just was like the blood.
Oh God, mother, blood. That is the worst part of Psycho, other than the fake kissing. Oh my God,
Right. Oh my god.
I have to skip that part now. I can't. They're like just rubbing on each other's faces, like not even trying to look like they're kissing. Like, oh my God, just stop it.
Exactly. So, with all of that said, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed a trip down memory lane to discuss about or have a discussion about Black Christmas. As always, thank you to the listeners for being here each and every week. You guys are incredibly amazing. You guys showed up and showed out again
Jiffy
for
Squad.
Better Watch Out. Curious to see what we're going to do this week with Black Christmas. The interesting one will be next week when we get to the really, really, really traditional Christmas movie. But I'll get to that in a minute. Chancy Greif, where can the listeners find you?
Let's see. TikTok, fucking Instagram is the Red Eye Round Table. Uh, X is Red Eye Table, and here I am the floating eye of chaos. Check me out one time. What's up, everybody?
Man,
Sorry, that was Justin
Amanda,
Bieber.
other than the fact that you're going to be watching Tay Tay in about, what, an hour
Well,
and 20
supposedly
minutes?
she might be going on early, which is why I'm like, I got to get because everybody's messaging saying people are already starting to go live, which means, I mean, people do go live for Gracie Abrams too, which is her opener, but I still am like, maybe she's going to go live early. So anyway, yeah. So I'm Amanda. Thanks for watching. Thanks for wishing me a happy birthday. And yeah, I think people will show up for this episode. Black Christmas is way better known than Better Watch Out. So, but also, I hope people went and watched Better Watch Out and you add it to your favorite holiday horror fest movies. The sip list is still on a break. And honestly, you guys, I just don't know what the future of the show is going to be. Kasey and I have been discussing it, and I'm kind of going back and forth. And, I just don't know. If you guys like the sip list and you want it to continue, please let me know. And yeah, we're just still deciding. But for now, we're chilling out the rest of the year. It's the holidays. Next time you guys see me, I will not be wearing glasses anymore because I'm having eye surgery tomorrow. So yeah, I'm having cataract surgery and lens implants to correct my vision. So
lots of positive thoughts because we need her back here next week
Thank you.
for
So next time I'll look like this. Ooh, it's weird. I don't like it.
Minus the squinting.
Minus the squinting because I can't see the screen. I'm like,
I know, right? Right.
I won't look like this. I'll look like whatever that looks
so
like.
we will be back here in 1 week's time to discuss the ultra traditional holiday movie Miracle on 34th Street. The
I'm-
week after,
Oh God.
Do we get to talk about Natalie Woodlore too? We might need to add an
Absolutely.
extra hour for that.
Absolutely. But the week after, we will be recasting National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation as well as talking Silent Night, Deadly Night. So that's what we've got coming up the rest of the year. You had a thought, madam?
Oh, I was just gonna say that George recast Cousin Eddie for me, and it is gonna be the winner. So I'm excited for that. Winner, winner,
I-
chicken dinner. Even though it's not a competition, it still is,
well,
and I'm gonna win.
I'm not gonna lie. G probably did, only because I know how much he loves those movies.
He
But
picked a perfect pick. I'm just gonna say,
well,
but also
I mean,
you guys might think of it too. So we'll see.
Word.
we'll find out 2 weeks from today, won't we?
But yeah, everybody watch us recast Christmas Vacation and definitely chime in with your opinions too, because that's going to be a fun one. And yeah,
Absolutely. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to hearing your dad's comments as we attempt to not screw up the flow of Christmas Vacation. So
so
that's what we've
for
got coming.
sorry,
Oh, go
real
ahead.
quick. I was just say for everybody that is going to be looking forward to that episode or wondering what we're going to do, the three of us are going to recast the four main Griswolds and Cousin Eddie. So each of the three of us will pick people for those, and then each of us three are going to pick one outlying character. So I got Aunt Bethany, and who did you guys pick? I can't remember.
I took Clark's boss.
That's right.
I don't even remember who I picked.
I don't think you
Huh?
made a pick yet.
Who
All right.
was Aunt Bethany anyway?
Don't throw me down, Clark. Is Rusty still in the Navy? She's the old lady at the end.
Oh, the old lady in the gray fur coat.
You should recast her husband, Uncle Lewis. No, you can pick whoever you want.
That's
Don't
good
throw me out,
stuff.
Clark. She's my favorite. Is your house
That's
on
good
fire? Okay, sorry. We're done now. I'm sorry, Kasey.
And
Yeah.
You should recast the cat
Oh,
with Grumpy
I
Cat.
was just getting. I was literally just getting ready to say I'll recast the cat.
Cat.
that would be freaking hilarious. So that's what we've got coming up over the rest of the year, and then Chancy will be here on January 1st with us to discuss the Notebook, whether he likes it or not. I mean, we will be going live before January 1st, but that episode will drop on January 1st. So
The Notebook's not that bad. You can handle it.
We'll
And
we'll see how it goes.
I'll get to talk about how on our drafts when we did non-horror movies that could be horror movies, I picked The Notebook as one of mine because The Notebook is about 3 steps away from being a stalker film.
You know, from what I've heard and having asked about it over the years, I kind of thought the same thing. Like I was just kind of like, this is the weirdest fucking obsession film I've ever heard of in my entire life. Like
So the
all it
problem
takes is a little nudge.
it's the thing that girls are meant to believe in growing up, that if a guy does this and this and this and this and whatever and won't take no for an answer, it means he really loves you. And in the book and in the movie, it works. Like it's very romantical. But in real life, we know now that that's harassment. So
I'm not gonna lie. Chancy's homework for this is to sit down and have date night with girl Kasey and watch this movie together as a couple.
The point of it is true love and how far you're willing to go for the person you love. And I'm just saying this movie set unrealistic expectations for me for,
Well,
Alzheimer's runs in my family. And I'm like, will my husband be there for me like that? Like, who would? I don't want to spoil it for Chancy, but
so, you said that the Notebook sets, it shows like, how far are you willing to go for love? So does Hellraiser.
true story. True story. No denying that.
On that note, co-host, are you ready to take us home?
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you. We loved our Unpop Kernels, AKA Jiffy Squad, Jiffy Pop Squad, Jiffy Squad, whatever you want to. I'm going to say Jiffy Squad. Like in Cougar Town, Penny Can. I'm going to say Jiffy Squad. Okay. Anyway, we love you guys. We appreciate you. Hope you're having a great holiday, and we hope you all come back for an evening at the movies. Goodbye.
Deuces.
R.I.P. Eras Tour.